This is Chief Honey Bear on Sunday, September 5th, 2021, back with Steve Lilly. We're talking about some of the other things that the government does to target individuals, like gaslighting or psychodrama, where they stage events to confuse people about what's actually going on. It's connected to social exclusion, where they go from business to business, stores or restaurants that where you happen to be on a frequent basis, and invent stories about you. And this is done basically as social exclusion, so that you're isolated and no one will know or care about what's happening to you.
That's true. Yeah, there's like no length that they won't spend money and go through to do whatever it is they're trying to do. Like I've seen they so many times around me, they've staged like elaborate fucking shit that is not real. Example, I was like, Angeles Crest Highway, went up the mountain a little bit to one of those turnouts, and right after I got there, they had two giant snowplows come up, and there's no snow or anything, but these snowplows came out, and then all of a sudden they had a tow truck with a car. They dumped the car on the side of the road, flipped it over upside down, made it look like somebody had a rollover, and then they had all these cops blocking everything off, so like nobody could get near where I was at. I mean, I that's the only thing I can think of they were doing that, because I'm always like, anytime I start exposing anything evil or corruption or anything like that, they start doing shit like that around me to stop any threat or anything getting near me. And it's so crazy that they start not only like flying helicopters like a perimeter and shit all the way around me, but they have like tons of aircraft and helicopters that start flying like directly over my head anywhere I'm at. And I've gone all over the place to show people this and document it, to show them, look, see that plane flying over my head? Look, it's not only flying directly over my head, but look, I'm over here in Venice Beach, I'm in Pasadena, I'm in La Cañada, I'm in Los Angeles, or wherever, and I go away from the airports so people can't say, oh, you're just under, the flight path. And really, that's not the case. The FBI InfraGard, they control all the FBI surveillance planes, here in probably the whole United States, and the military's doing shit also on top of that. They all work together. So, and now they have Space Force and everything. It's all like one giant militarized like surveillance planet, really.
So what they're doing is trying to experiment on you, gain information about how you think and feel and act.
That's true, yeah.
And then use that to be able to control other people as well. And they use you as a experimental test subject against your will.
Right. And here's the thing too, is like they started out on us, but now they're using this technology on like anyone, and they're using it to control the minds of people. Like, and this technology, it's so advanced now, and they've perfected it where if you're unaware of it, then you won't know if it's ever being used on you. You have to first be aware that this technology exists, and then you have to be aware of what it feels like when they do it, so that way it triggers you to realize that they're doing it. And once you become aware, you're able to block it. But like in the beginning, what happened was they were literally targeting my mind, my brain, and they're able to block your natural, free will and train of thought. And from this computer, using these frequencies, send information through this frequency like a radio station, and it completely blocks your thought and starts inputting its own. And the individual actually thinks that they're thinking and acting on their own free will, but actually it's an AI computer, supercomputer, that's controlling you, and you don't realize it, but you are now a robot being taken over by an AI computer, and you have no idea that just happened. And they do that on all kinds of people all the time. Just they do it to set people up. And like, I like with my girlfriend, for example, many times, like, we'll be talking, and then some shit, like, we'll get in an argument, like a complete, like, worthless argument out of nowhere, and she's acting completely out of character and doing shit that is just like off the wall. And every time it happens to me, I don't realize it in the moment. We get in a fight and everything, and shit happens, and then after the aftermath, I realized that was what happened. They took over and they did that, and the reason they're doing that is because they're not able to control me, but they can use her to manipulate me by manipulating her and get me caught up in slipping or in a situation that will jeopardize what I have going on, and they've done this many times. And they've been almost successful at it a few times, but luckily, I'm aware of it now, and now it doesn't work. And these tactics, they're always like coming up with different tactics, so you have to be aware of these tactics. And then, once you know how they work, once you know the tactics, it's ineffective anymore. Even though the technology is so great, you're able to block it.
And what they're using on me is very low level compared to what they would use in war. They can use ultrasound like the ionospheric research instrument. Russia calls it America's earthquake machine, or very intense microwave. They could kill 500,000 people in one day with the microwave or soldiers. People don't realize the tactical nuclear warfare, the germ warfare. The United States, I think right now currently has 3 million soldiers, and they need more, and Europe needs more. So, you see all these immigrants coming in from Latin America and the United States. There are no jobs. You see them coming, Syrian refugees in Europe. There's no jobs. There's a draining economy. But the real reason they're bringing these people in is for warfare, because anyone between 15 and 30 before the war is going to start is going to be conscripted. And, so people were complaining in Europe, well, if these are really refugees, how come there are no women? How come there are no children? How come there are no old people? They're all like 15 to 30-year-old men. And the reason was because that's what the European governments wanted, to conscript in the military. You see that right now. You see, like for instance, you'll see Salvadoran women who could come into the United States through California, and they would have amnesty, and they could stay here, and they could be would not be arrested, could work, and they decide not to. They go to Texas, where they're not allowed to come in, and they'll take their teenage children and just drop them off, and then the government will ask them where they want to go, and they'll fly them to wherever they want to go, like Tennessee, New York, wherever. And the reason is because they need a lot more people between 15 and 30 years old to conscript into the military, because we're about to go to war with Russia and China. And we could lose.
They're making you think that.
You don't believe that's the case?
I actually know. I can tell you. I'll tell you off the record, but like there's shit going on like beyond that'll blow your mind. Everything right now is a giant manipulation. I mean, like.
You can't tell me. You can't tell me why you're video recording. I'd like other people to know about this. Could you tell me what's actually going on?
Well, yeah, they're okay. They're staging everything right now, and every event, everything that keeps happening is very well calculated and planned out, and has been planned out a long time ago. And the reason being is because they need to wake the population up, because people won't wake up. They're so indoctrinated and programmed, for centuries, of all this bullshit information that we were fed, that they cannot break out of that programming unless they actually experience and see it with their own eyes.
Okay, so like Honda and Adidas no longer have human machine operators. Their factories are completely automated. They have robots. And when I spoke to Bill Gates at the Pentagon in 2005, I video recorded it. He said that by April 23rd, 2030, that 80% of the population, at least 80% of the population, would be exterminated. That they no longer need human labor.
See, that was true until the good guys intervened, and now they're not in control anymore. But the reason Bill Gates knows all this shit is because he's been part of this plan to kill everybody, on the planet with the vaccines and everything. Anyways, Bill Gates, he's dead anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Let me go
So,
on this line first, and you can tell me about him being dead. But he didn't deny that he was in this video. He was introduced as the founder of Microsoft and the co-chair of the
that
Bill
was
and
all
Melinda
given to
Gates.
him, you know. That was
Okay.
all given to him.
Okay, so then what? I know, like Paul Allen was much more
His dad
intelligent,
started Planned
and
Parenthood.
yeah, he flunked out of Harvard, and Paul Allen was a real mind behind Microsoft. And it used to be CIA backed, but what happened was, for a while, then Bill Gates said, well, that was an anonymous scientist. It kind of looked like me. It wasn't me. Now, more recently, they're saying that was a fake video that was taken from a 2010 conspiracy movie. But it was video recorded in 2005, and it's archived by the Department of Defense in 2005, 5 years before the video came out. But now I've got a video of him in Israel. I got off the internet where he's talking about if these COVID vaccines work, then we should easily be able to kill 10 to 15% of the population.
He did say that
Yeah.
we should be able to reduce. He uses like fancy words, so it sounds like, oh, that sounds like a good thing, but yeah, basically saying, yeah, so we can kill the
Okay,
population.
what is this about you? You claim that Bill Gates is dead.
Well, he died like him. The real Bill Gates and Melinda Gates were hung, I think, back in India, like in 2016 or something like that.
Well, he was charged. They were trying to extradite him there for murdering children with
Yeah,
the
for
vaccines.
another bad vaccine. So when that happened, they have clones, they have body doubles, they have all that shit, and they use CGI also, to manipulate these people. So this entire time, there's been people playing the role of Bill and Melinda, and you can go like look at them now and look at them then. They're two totally different people, especially Melinda. And then they finally just publicly announced that after Melinda divorced Bill Gates or whatever, she supposedly, whatever, they already knew all this information. It's all fucking staged anyways, but told on Bill and everything. And Bill, he's a human trafficker. He's a pedophile. He had Melinda told about the dungeons under his properties, that secret tunnels and dungeons that he had, and all his trips to Epstein Island and everything. And then he's also busted for other crimes against humanity for coming up with these vaccines, the mRNA and everything that destroys your DNA and kills you and all this shit. And it's all out now. I mean, the COVID virus, it's all bullshit. The virus was just the fear tactic they used to instill enough fear in people, so that way they would ask for a cure or a vaccine, which in reality is to kill them. So that way, they had no liability or anything. They are like, oh, they asked for it.
Okay,
They have on their own free will.
My stance on
It's
that,
a giant
yeah.
manipulation and everything, but all that has we've caught all that. It's all going down. They're all going down now. We know that.
I want to say.
We're in this
it.
information war still,
Yeah.
though. So it's hard to fight because you still have these people, these corrupt people that are in places of power, and you have all the dumb people that are believing them. So it's an incredibly difficult battle. And then you have what they have called click farms. I don't know if you know what a click farm is, but they have like warehouses full of just like thousands of cell phones that are hooked up to these computers, and there's an AI computer, pretending to be a person on the other end, spreading all this information to combat all the truth that's leaking out.
We're coming
to
the end. I can't go too much further, but I just want to say, I want to keep my Facebook and my YouTube. I know you're banned from both of those right now, but I'm not going to recommend. I think it's your personal choice whether or not you get a vaccine, or I'm a libertarian, but whether you use a mask. I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm not going to be an anti-vaxxer. And I want to stay on social media. I want to be open-minded. I want to have a conversation about all this.
Sure, yeah,
but I'm not going to. I'm not going to take a stance of telling other people how to live their lives.
Either am I. All I'm going to do is I'll share my opinion. I'll tell you what is going on. It's up to you if you want to believe it or not. You got to do the research and look into it yourself. But before you put anything in you like that, go look and find out what the deal is, because in my opinion, you're making a life or death mistake by putting that in. So.
Okay, thanks, Steve.